So here we are, October is finally here, and as per usual, Apple fans are bracing themselves for what could be one of the most unpredictable months of the year. Over the past decades, October has almost become synonymous with surprise Apple announcements. Sometimes we've seen full-blown events streamed worldwide with fancy taglines, sometimes it's just a carefully timed press release, but the consistent thread is this: October is when Apple likes to clear the decks and make sure certain product categories get their moment in the spotlight before the year ends. So for 2025, the question right now is, will Apple actually host a traditional October event this year, or drop announcements via press releases? Well, we'll delve into that. By the way, there's a long list of rumored products that could show up, guys, and today we'll be breaking down all of them, looking at the leaks, the history, and what it means for you guys if you're thinking of spending some big bucks. Before we get into the product rumors, let's quickly talk about timing. If you look back at Apple's October history, there's a clear pattern. In 2021, Apple teased its Unleashed event on Tuesday, October 12, and held the event on Monday, October 18. In 2022, the Take Note teaser landed on October 18th, and then we saw a number of press releases announcing new iPads. Then in 2023, we had the Scary Fast event, teased on Tuesday, October 24 before going live on October 30. And just last year in 2024, Apple teased us with Mac Your Calendars on Thursday, October 24, before giving us 3 days of press releases from October 28 to October 30. The point is, Apple has consistently given a heads up in the back half of October, so if something is coming, expect that teaser around the 3rd or 4th week of this month. The deadline is basically October 29 because Apple's next earnings call is scheduled for October 30, and they'll want to recap any big hardware news before then. Now, I could be wrong about this, but I think there actually won't be an event this year. Similar to last year, I think we'll see just a week of press releases where they give us an announcement on Apple Newsroom and then a short video introducing the products on their YouTube page. Now let's dig into the fun part, the actual products we're expecting. First up, the iPad Pro. If the rumors are right, this will be one of the first iPads and one of the first Apple products to get the M5 chipset. We've already seen unboxings of this new iPad, and it shows respectable performance upgrades, especially with the GPU, which is 36% faster. But aside from that, it's basically the same as the M4. The other hardware change we could see is dual front-facing cameras. The promise is you'll be able to have video calls in portrait or landscape, but I'm gonna be honest, who asked for this? I feel like most are happy with the current landscape orientation, plus you have center stage. I did see people on Twitter suggest you could use one camera for desk view and then another camera to show your face, which I guess could be cool for presentations. But ultimately, I think Apple's just trying very hard to add something fancy to this iPad, just so it stands out. But ultimately, this is a spec refresh, and so I would not rush out to buy this. You are better off saving your money and getting the M4 iPad Pro for less, but if you will take advantage of the additional performance, this iPad Pro could be the centerpiece of the October wave. And speaking of centerpieces, Vision Pro could be about to see its first real refresh. Apple's headset only launched earlier last year, but the company seems keen to keep iterating fast. Rumors suggest we could see a bump to the M4, even the M5 chip inside. I hope it's the M5 because that's the latest and greatest, which of course would improve performance for spatial computing activities. A lot of people complained about the weight and comfort of the Vision Pro, and so Apple's launching a redesigned head strap. And then of course there's going to be a new color, because that's how you get the Apple sheep excited. A space black option has been whispered about, which would make sense. Apple always likes to introduce new finishes to keep momentum going. But ultimately, the price is what's stopping this from becoming a mass market product, and while we haven't really heard about a cheaper Vision product in quite a while, but I'm hoping that's still in the pipeline. Now let's pause here for just a second. If you're enjoying these deep dives, hit that subscribe button and tap the new hype button. It really helps a small channel like mine reach more Apple fans, and you'll never miss my latest takes on all things Apple. Now let's move on to the living room. The Apple TV could be one of the sleeper hits of this season. The headline rumor is a faster A17 Pro chipset inside, which would be crucial for next year when Apple Intelligence, the company's big AI push, rolls out in full. The Apple TV is already a powerful streaming box, but adding Apple's N1 chipset with Wi-Fi 7 support will make it future-proof for the next wave of connectivity. There's also long-running chatter about a built-in FaceTime camera, and while it's not clear if that's going to be ready for this model, you can see where Apple's heading. They want to make this more than just a streaming box. But the biggest change by far that gets me tingling is a lower price. We don't know how much cheaper it could get, but I'm hoping it's going to be $99 or less. That would make this an incredible deal. You know what else is an incredible deal? The HomePod Mini. This hasn't been refreshed since 2020, but should be getting a spec upgrade this October as well. Now we're expecting a new chipset inside to replace the aging S5. either the S9 or the S10, paired with the M1 chipset for Wi-Fi 7. What's really exciting is that Apple's said to be working on improving the sound quality, which is something the HomePod mini could definitely use to close the gap with bigger smart speakers. Add in a second generation ultra-wideband chipset for proximity features, and suddenly the HomePod mini becomes much smarter in recognizing your devices when you're nearby. And just to sweeten the deal, Apple may drop some new colors, including a bold red. Moving on to accessories, AirTag 2 is rumored to be on the way as well, and this could be a significant update. The main headline is range, up to 3 times the longer item tracking compared to the current AirTag. That alone would be huge, making it far more useful in real-world scenarios. But Apple's also said to be making the speaker more tamper-proof, addressing one of the privacy concerns that cropped up with the first generation. And to top it off, we may finally get very low battery alerts, so you now know well in advance when your AirTag is running out of juice. It's a small product, but the refinements could make it an essential part of the Apple ecosystem for even more people. Now what about Macs? This is where it gets a little murky. Normally October is Mac season, but the latest reports suggest the next 14-inch and 16-inch MacBook Pros with M5, M5 Pro and M5 Max chipsets won't actually be ready until early 2026. That's right, Apple might skip M5 MacBooks in October entirely this year, but it's worth remembering Apple has shifted timelines before. In January 2023, for instance, Apple announced the MacBook Pro with M2 Pro and M2 Max via press release, completely outside the October window. The Mac Mini may still be updated this October though, and may get the M5 before the MacBook Pro, though this likely will just be a chip swap and nothing else. Then there's a long-running rumor of a lower-priced MacBook. This would be Apple's attempt to launch a proper Chromebook competitor with an A18 Pro or even the A19 Pro chipset. Think of it as a spiritual successor to the MacBook Air with the M1, which, fun fact, is still being sold by Walmart in the US for $599. Currently that's the budget option for Mac users, but of course Apple doesn't directly sell it, and you can't really find it new outside the US in most countries, and so first party option would be great. Now the timeline for this product is allegedly late 2025 to early 2026, so it could launch next year. Don't hold your breath for October, but this certainly would be a nice surprise. So what am I personally excited for? Well, I love myself some cheap gadgets, so for me it's the new Apple TV and HomePod mini. These are already great products as is, but they're getting some key upgrades, and in the case of the Apple TV, a price cut, which is rare for Apple. I'm really hoping this can be sub $100. But of course, this is all still speculation until Apple confirms it. That's the beauty of October events, you never quite know how Apple will play it. Some years it's a flashy event with multiple product launches, some years it's a simple press release or two. Either way, by the end of this month we'll know exactly what's real and what was just a rumor. And I'll be here to break it down for you guys, so don't forget to hit subscribe and tap the hype button below. It really does help a small channel like mine keep covering this stuff in detail, and it makes sure you'll be part of the conversation as soon as these products arrive. October's Apple season, and this year's shaping up to be no different. Stay tuned because things are about to get interesting. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.